And then last is collaboration. When you watch stuntmen work together, it is the most incredible experience in the world. They all have each other's backs. We all collaborated. Every single department was working hard to make everything work magically and to make sure no one was going to get hurt. You see, Eric knew how to do that with everyone because collaboration is trust is a must. You have to have that when you're working with stuntmen. And I want to just share with you something that happened one time. It was probably the scariest time on the set. But it really speaks for when people work together. One of our stuntmen was jumping out of a third-story building. He was jumping out of a third-story building. Now, usually what they would do is they would use boxes, empty boxes. You just fold them up. You don't put tape on them. You just fold them up and you set them on top of each other and they fall into it. That's usually from a 2-story building. But this time, he was jumping from 3 stories, and it was an old abandoned building. And so what they did was they got a big, let's face it this way, so they got a big airbag. It must have been it looked like it was a football field long and probably like 50 feet wide. And what was happening was the good guy, the stuntman was playing, of course, the main character, the good guy. He was the double. And he was going to jump out the window. There was no actual window in it because it was an abandoned building. Jump out the window and a huge explosion happens behind him. And fire and flames come out. Everything has to be timed perfectly. Everybody has to trust what everybody else is doing. So here comes our stuntman. We'll call him Ken. Ken starts the run. He gets to the ledge of the window. He jumps out into the airbag. But the unforeseen thing was when the explosion happened, the wood frame of the window caught on fire and fell out, hit the airbag, and boom, up in flames. And Ken is in the middle of it. I'll tell you, that put just the chill in everyone. But what was amazing was to watch how all the team members worked. Every single stuntman, I don't think you could even count 2 seconds, was there with a fire extinguisher surrounding the whole thing. And they were putting out the fire. And we didn't know what happened to Ken. And then all of a sudden, it was kind of like the phoenix rising out of the ashes. Ken stood up. And even today, it kind of makes me a little emotional because we were so happy to see him stand up. And all that happened to him was the back of his hair got singed. He had a little bit of burn on his face. His hair arms were singed, but he was okay. But it was the fact that all his brothers and all of us were in that bag with him at that moment because we truly cared and trusted each other to help each other out in this situation.